Hi guys, today we'll be looking at the three principal factors that can either lead to your failure or your success as a young man. You can grow beyond these three things we're going to be discussing today. Recently there's been a publication that frustration among young people is on the right side. People every day are getting more frustrated. They're going into alcoholic consumptions and other illicit drugs. And most of the time when they're arrested and interrogated and they're asked, and they said they indulge in certain acts because of frustration. So why is frustration on the high side when it comes to young people? So we're looking at the three things that will determine your success or your failure as a young person. Number one, there's people. And the second one we'll be looking at is places and events. These three things play an essential role in every human survival. The first one is the people. That is the people that are around you. You can't grow more than the kind of people that you keep in your space. For you to succeed or for you to fail as a young person is determined by people that are surrounded. You're surrounded by the kind of people that you listen to, the kind of people that have access to communicate with you, and the kind of people you also communicate to. You know, so many persons don't know that the people around you has a greater influence on you. I've had conversation with some persons that said I cannot be influenced, or being influenced is something that I can't be influenced negatively. And my response to them has always been, you can always be influenced negatively or positively. It's just a matter of who is coming to influence you. You don't be among the company of the wrong people and you think you cannot be influenced wrongly. As a young man that want to strive or want to grow, you must discern the kind of people that you accept into your space, because to everyone that is connected to you has an effect on your life. Some persons you see that have failed today is due to the people they give access to, their private life. You cannot grow more than the people you have around you, because the people you have around you, the kind of conversation they raise around you have a direct impact on the way you reason. Your ability as a young person is a respect of the kind of people or the kind of information you are access to. If you access to positive or striving information, definitely going to strive well. But if you're around people that the kind of conversation you have around them is that keep you at the stable ground, then you will definitely not succeed. The second factor that can also determine your success as a young person is the places. That's your habitats, where you are. Some persons don't really know that the environment they are has a very big role to play on their life and their reasoning. If you want to grow, there are certain environments you must avoid. For example, if you're a student, you are in school, there are places you should prioritize and there are places you deprioritize. If you prioritize the place that you should deprioritize and deprioritize the places you should prioritize, definitely you're going to fail in every of your endeavor. If you're a business person, you must understand the environment that you should prioritize and the environment you should deprioritize. If you're also a career person, you must also understand what environment they need to prioritize, what kind of place they need to prioritize, and what kind of place they need to deprioritize. If for any reason you prioritize the place you should deprioritize and deprioritize the place you should prioritize, then you are going to fail. So every decision you want to take as a young man should be a factor of what is my aim. You should be very intentional about the kind of place you visit, the kind of place you're found. If you are a student, let me come back. If you are a student, you should know the place you should prioritize as a student should be your classroom, should be your library, and other places where you're going to learn. It shouldn't be a place that you will be found excited like the club. If you prioritize a place like the club that you should deprioritize, definitely you're going to fail as a student. If you're a business-minded person also, your priority should be in your business place. You cannot be a successful businessman and you don't prioritize your business place. Then you're going to fail. So your environment, the kind of environment you prioritize as a person or as a youth, has also a role to play in your reasoning and your success. So it's a second and most important factor that will lead to either your failure or your success as a young person. The kind of place you prioritize and the place you deprioritize. So always look at yourself. Be intentional about taking the decision on the place you must visit. Be intentional about taking the decision of place you shouldn't visit. You shouldn't just go to places because you want to get excited or because you want to show up or because you want people to know you're around. You should go to places that you feel will add value to what you are intentional about. The third factor that will predetermine your success or your failure as a young man is events. That's the moment. Every moment, every event you participate in has a direct effect to your mind, has a direct effect to your reasoning, and has a direct effect to also your future. Some persons have not been able to discern in their mind and thinking about the events and the moments they should prioritize and the moment they should also deprioritize. Some persons, they just take decision and go to places and act because they want to make people around to be excited or be happy with them, not really because it's in line with what they are pursuing. Remember, in my last point, I mentioned intentionality. You have to be intentional about the moment you prioritize. What am I going for? And if I'm going to this place, why am I going there? Why am I in this meeting? And what kind of meeting should I attend to? Everything you should do as a young man should be in line with the decision you've taken earlier that you feel will drive you in the positive direction. You shouldn't just go to places or act because other people are acting or people are doing it. You shouldn't take a decision because other people have taken such decision. Every decision you want to take should go in line to your previous decision based on your discernment, what you want to achieve at the end. For example, as a young person, what moment should you prioritize? What event, as a young man, you're a student in school, what event should you prioritize so that you can, come out successfully as a student? You should know moments like lecture hours and when you're doing your assignments and you're writing your test. These are moments you must prioritize as a student if you want to succeed academically. You cannot be a student and you don't prioritize those moments, or you don't find pleasure, you don't find joy in doing your assignment and doing your test or other academic activity. If you don't prioritize those moments, definitely you're going to fail. If you're a business person, what moment should you prioritize as a business person? Of course, you should prioritize moments where you're taking stock of your business, where you're in your business place, where you're having business conversation. Those should be more important to you than every other kind of conversation or moments. If you're a business person and you don't prioritize those moments that will bring impact and positive result to your business, definitely that business you are involved into is going to fail. So you must understand these three things that I have earlier said that determine if you're going to fail as a young man or you're going to, be successful. I said the first one is the people you give access into your life and the people you deny access to your life. Every person that is in your life has a role to play in your life. So you must discern the kind of people that are access to your life, that have access to you that talk to you or that you talk to. You must also be very careful about the places you visit, the place you do not visit. That's the places you prioritize and those you deprioritize. You must also be careful about the moment you place priority on and those you deprioritize, because these three things are key factors that determine if you're going to fail or you're going to be successful in life. Thank you very much.